This is the Waianoki, a 33-bedroom Victorian hotel in Eastbourne. 3 years ago, after a brief stint running a small B&B, Mark and Heidi Cowderoy decided to upgrade their ambitions.
I would like it to be the most beautiful hotel on Eastbourne seafront that people are desperate to stay at because it's so nice.
But the Waianoki's seen better days. With an interior described as God's waiting room, the hotel catered mainly for cheap coach parties of pensioners paying as little as £18 a night.
All of threes, 33.
The couple started a room-by-room renovation, hoping to up their market and their prices. But Heidi hasn't done things by halves.
Since we've been here, we've actually spent just coming up for £1 million.
The work has been paid for with credit cards and overdrafts, leaving the couple deep in debt.
We've lost money from day one. And Mark will say it's all my fault because I've just spent.
Until all the rooms are renovated, Mark and Heidi are resigned to trading their £1 million rooms for next to nothing.
Here's a song you may remember. You can sing along to this one.
A heck of a lot of money spent on the rooms, and they're nice-looking rooms, for somebody who's paying peanuts.
We totally do not know where to go with the hotel.
The Waianoki clearly has an identity crisis, and that's where celebrated hotelier Ruth Watson comes in. But what kind of first impression does the hotel make?
There's the normal, horrible, glazed 60s sun lounge stuck on the front of this hotel, but behind it is the most fantastic building. Architecturally, this is just sublime. It's got Regency verandas and it is so handsome. Big anomaly, though, is the name, Waianoki Hotel. I feel as if I'm in North America, not on Eastbourne's coast.
So Ruth's already established the hotel has great potential, but its image is as out of place and confusing as its name.
Hello. Hi. I'm Ruth. I've come to see Mark and Heidi. Okay.
Ruth quickly calls a powwow in the Waianoki's dining room to get to the root of their problems.
I'm walking along the promenade and I see the name of your hotel, Waianoki, and I'm in Eastbourne, not in North America. How on earth does that happen?
It's Red Indian for something like Little House by the Sea or Hut by the Stream or something like that, and it's horrendous. Is it Waianoki?
So you don't even know how to pronounce it?
People on the phone say it's the Waianoki, and they say, so that's what? Why? No, it's W.
Would you consider changing it?
We'd like to change it, but the problem that we have is trying to find something that is acceptable.
Mark and Heidi will have to make sure the hotel has the right image if they're to appeal to a more affluent clientele. And time is of the essence, as the Waianoki's already left them deeply in the red.
Financially, you've got a mortgage and you're trying to do the rooms up.
Yes.
Out of profit, and you're not making any profit.
No. At the moment, we're just very, very extended in overdraft situation.
It's very dispiriting, struggling in that fashion.
That's what we argue about more than anything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say that this business of having coach parties is not the solution?
Yes, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's the nitty-gritty.
Despite their crippling debts, Mark and Heidi seem hesitant about losing the coach parties altogether. Ruth needs to investigate further before she can come up with a plan to stop the rot. First up, one of the refurbished rooms where Ruth will be staying the night.
Well, apart from the squeaky door, blow me down. Who would have thought it? I mean, I come up in a cruddy lift and horrible carpets on the landing and the stairs, and I'm suddenly in this fabulous room. It's a delight. Really, really freshly painted. It's everything you want in a hotel room, but gosh, what a stark contrast to everything else I've seen downstairs. But it does feel as if I'm in two different hotels, which could be a bit of a problem.
The refurbished bedrooms are clearly a strong point, but Ruth wants to see how the old rooms compare.
My word, how this room is in such sharp contrast to the ones Heidi's done up. I mean, we've got paintwork behind the radiator where you can see the old wallpaper showing. It is very, very grim. The whole thing is such a shame because there are two different businesses trading in this one building and it's very confusing.
Having seen the before and after, Ruth heads to the second floor to check out a work in progress. Room 17 is in mid-revamp. Heidi plans to steal a section of the existing bedroom to form a new ensuite.
My first question is, what on earth are they doing? They seem to be taking a chunk out in the corner to make an internal bathroom, which completely flies in the face of what they should be doing because nowadays everyone's looking for bigger bathrooms. Have they actually thought this through?
The sun sets on day one of Ruth's inspection.
Having Ruth stay in the hotel is a very, very daunting experience. And today I'm thinking, oh my God, why are we doing it?
Ruth's up and about, continuing her inspection in the hotel's pastel-toned TV lounge.
This is a bit like being buried in an apricot.
I'm cacking it.
This must be a legacy from either the previous owner or their Heidi and Mark are more insane than I give them credit for. It's a little token gesture for the name of Wyandotte.
Next, Ruth heads to the hotel's dining room to sample the Wyandotte breakfast.
Oh, good morning.
Hello.
Hi. Take you to table 11?
Yes. Oh, the menu's very short and sweet. Basically, cereal, juice, and then eggs any way you like. Sausage, baked beans, and tomato and bacon. No messing.
If Mark and Heidi want to take the Wyandotte up market, the quality of their breakfast will need to reflect that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Would you like any sauce or anything?
No, that's fine, thank you.
Thank you.
This is a slightly pitiful-looking breakfast, but if I was getting this as part of a £20 a night deal, then I could hardly complain about it. It's a terrible, terrible sausage. The skin has got more going on than the insides. Not good. Egg, it's okay, it's fine. It's okay, you know, it's a meagre little costed breakfast to go with a very small tariff. If they want to upgrade this, then this whole thing has got to have just so much more feeling of indulgence about it.
With the hotel's dual personality in evidence even at the breakfast table, Ruth heads to reception to offer Heidi some food for thought.
Morning, Ruth.
I thought I'd just come and see your little empire here, which looks completely chaotic to me. Are there two people in your head, Heidi? Because this looks to me like a mess.
There is a definite for the show for the guests and another side, yes.
This might be very simplistic, but I don't know how you can work efficiently.
It is something that we're working on, and Mark's very negative about it all at the moment because it's going to cost a bit of money getting some shelves.
Yeah,
and
no,
bits
but look,
and
being
pieces.
tidy doesn't cost money. I'd love to see you clear this up. If somebody comes in and it looks a mess, they assume that everything's a mess.
Yeah.
And actually, that isn't the case. I mean, you run a really, tight ship, and this is giving the wrong impression.
Okay. She's straight to the point, says it as it is. I'm a bit more worried about people's reactions and I'm a bit more cautious of how to tread, whereas if Ruth just goes, pow!
Ruth tracks Mark down to the basement bar to find out who holds the Wyandotte's purse strings.
This is where you secrete yourself. So let's just clarify. The money comes in, and both of you, do you have any idea of what kind of money is going to come in? Do you have an idea of the budgets? Do you have any kind of business plan for the year?
We have a pretty good idea of what we receive throughout the year. So I like to see the money coming in, that's probably my thing. Whereas the money going out is probably not my strength, whereas Heidi quite likes spending the money that's coming in. She quite likes spending it quite a lot of the time, really. So I try and rein her in if I can.
How do you try to rein her in?
The way it tends to happen is that we would tend to argue about it. Probably more often than not, she gets her own way because she can be quite convincing.
Convincing or just bloody-minded?
She's bloody-minded as well, but actually quite right in what she says. If we can refurbish in the rooms, we do get more money for the rooms. So you're caught between a rock and a hard place taking a decision. And probably often for an easy life, I tend to agree with her. Probably too much, to the truth be known.
The end result of that can only be catastrophe. It sounds to me that whether you're taking 300, 500, 700, Heidi will just spend that extra amount of money. She'll just do more rooms.
That's correct.
By spending all the money they make when they're busy, they leave themselves with no reserves for the leaner months of the year.
You get to next winter, there isn't going to be any...
Well, we won't have a hotel if it's the same thing this year.
You're on the brink.
Yes.
Mark's concern is obvious. Heidi is spending income the Waianoki simply doesn't have. If they don't control their expenditure and plan for the future, the hotel could be heading for financial ruin. After spending 24 hours at the Waianoki, Ruth gathers the couple to reveal her findings. First up, the hotel's biggest problem, its confused identity.
I don't think I've ever felt quite so agitated about a hotel as this one has made me feel, because you're trading two things simultaneously, you're thinking two different ways simultaneously, you're charging two different tariffs simultaneously. I mean, the whole thing is just this horrible, horrible push me, pull you.
Yep.
Do you feel that way when you're working here?
Yeah, I do. We seem to have a different perspective for different guests.
So I think things have really got to stop, in effect, right now, if anything's going to get better here.
They have to decide once and for all whether they're really going to take the hotel up market or concentrate on the coach parties.
What we're going to do is we're going to map out two separate business plans, one trading it one way, one trading it the other way. It's up to you to then make some decisions. I mean, I would far rather that you could go the way of doing it up, actually reducing the number of rooms, raising the cost. I mean, that's got to be a preferable way.
Next for discussion, the hotel's peculiar name.
Whichever way we choose to go, this has got to be rebranded, this place, right? We've got this crazy name that says nothing about anything apart from a few red Indians on the mantelpiece. So what I would like you to do is to come up with a short list of, say, 10 names that you can think of for this place, right?
Yes.
And then we're going to go out on the street and we're going to ask the people.
Oh.
Okay?
Yes.
And we'll see what they think is going to be a good name for this place. Because
Finally, it's time for Mark and Heidi to confront their wanton spending.
Where I'm thinking is that the boring bit, but the necessary bit, is we've got to talk about the finances. Mark, you've told me that your beloved wife likes spending money and that sometimes you put the kibosh on it, but more often than not, she gets her way.
Yep.
I don't think Mark always knows what you're doing. I'm not sure you know what he's doing all the time. And I'm not sure, in fact, I'm bloody certain that together you don't know what you're doing half the time. I want you to talk together. I'd actually even like to suggest that maybe once a month you have a proper meeting together where you take the morning, go out, have coffee, do whatever, and sit over a table and actually talk about how the business is going together.
Whichever way they decide to take the hotel, Ruth wants them to come up with a budget and stick to it. But her comments don't seem to be getting the response she'd like.
I'm asking you to be aware and to understand that if you have X coming in and you have X amount of overhead, you have X amount to spend, and you cannot spend more than that. It's quite simple. Your eyes are glazing over as I talk to you.
No.
It matters, Heidi. This matters.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, you know, we're talking real stuff here. It might be on paper, the figures, but the reality is that come next January, February, you ain't got no more money. What do you do?
No, I agree. Totally agree.
Heidi and Mark are working so hard here and they're full of enthusiasm for Waianoki, but the fact is they don't know where they're going. And what I really would like to see is Heidi's eyes stop glazing over the minute we talk about finances. It matters that they have a coherent business plan that they stick to. If they don't actually keep a tight cross on things and if they don't know where they're going, then actually this is all going to come asunder, whether it's called Waianoki or not.
Mark and Heidi get straight down to work, tidying up the messy reception. But Ruth's ticking off hasn't gone down too well.
I hate being told what to do. Tidy your desk, tidy your bedroom. It's just horrible, isn't it? It was a little bit like being back at home and having your mum nagging you.
But Heidi is feeling more enthusiastic about dropping her coach clientele.
I think it would take a bit of getting used to not having coaches in and just dealing with private guests. I think it'd be, nice to go down a new route and have a new challenge. And I can't wait till all the rooms are fantastic. And you just can't do that with the coaches.
Sometimes I think I'm your skivvy, you know.
Look, if you ain't going to help, bugger off. You going to help me?
I might bugger off.
It's not just the reception that needs a revamp. Ruth wants Mark and Heidi to concentrate on 3 key points. First, they have to start budgeting properly or the hotel will run out of money altogether. No more wanton spending from Heidi. Second, she wants them to lose the Native American name and statues, replacing them both with something more fitting and aspirational.
Here is your first number.
8 and 9, 89.
Finally, they'll have to stop running 2 hotels under one roof. On her next visit, Ruth will provide them with 2 financial forecasts for the year ahead, so Mark and Heidi can choose the most profitable path.
So the massive prize of £6 divided by 2 is how much, Heidi?
£3.
£3.
Waving goodbye to yet another coach party has brought home to Mark and Heidi how critical the situation is.
We had 39 guests in. We got £2,840. Our mortgage is £1,250. Our food bill was about £600, so we haven't made any money this week.
A few days later, the rebranding process gets underway in the hotel's Apricot Lounge.
It's an end of an era. The Waianoke Indians are being put to bed for the foreseeable future. Anybody makes us a decent offer, they can have them, basically.
Right, come on, you family of Cherokees.
I feel a bit emotional about moving them. I know I hate them, but, they've been with us for 2.5 years now.
Tutty bye.
In room 17, things are on the up. Ruth had objected to Heidi's plans to build a small internal bathroom, so the couple went back to the drawing board.
When Ruth was here last time, she said that this room was far too small to put a bathroom in. And she also said that we should take this bathroom, which used to belong to next door, and incorporate it into the room. We sat down, got our bookings book out and worked out if we could lose a room for the whole of the summer. So we have taken Ruth's advice, but on a depressing note, we're now, for quite a few weeks of the year, turning this fabulous, fantastic room with a big 4-poster bed and lovely furniture and things, giving it away for the coaches.
But despite Ruth's words of caution, Heidi seems to have taken her suggestion that they enlarge the bathroom as a license to supersize the budget.
I suppose by having Ruth here, it's sort of given us the confidence to be able to say, sod it, let's just do it. And instead of having, an average bathroom, we've now trying to trump the last room we've done and make it better. We've got 2 sinks going in the bath, we've got a jacuzzi bath, we've got a waterproof television going in the bathroom, so it is all about trying to get it better and better. So I hope when Ruth comes back, she'll be really pleased with us.
By funding the project with credit cards and overdrafts, Mark and Heidi are just storing up trouble for the future. Ruth also suggested regular meetings away from the hotel to help the bickering business partners work more effectively. Item 1 on Mark's agenda is, not surprisingly, room 17.
Since Ruth had a bit of a go at you about spending too much money, what's she going to say when she finds out how much you spent this week?
She hasn't put the foot on the brake and said, stop now, so I'm just getting it in quick.
But if we run out of money, we'd have to stop, wouldn't we?
I can't stop spending money. The room's a started project. No.
We'd have to stop. Simple as that. If you haven't got money to spend, you're glazing over.
Well, it's
Again.
boring. It's boring. You're just boring me.
But we've got people paying £18 a night, sleeping in a room that you spent £8,000 on.
Top whack. I've spent that £3,000.
£3,000.
Top whack.
You're talking rubbish. I've worked out at least 6 already with the 2 TVs, the bath. Don't ignore me. The idea is that you budget. They said you've got a budget for things.
Well, it's not a business
budget,
plan.
is it?
It doesn't interest
Sorry?
me.
But you have to budget. That means you have to be a bit more inventive about where you get things
Well, you set me a budget. You say, there you go, there's
Okay.
£8,000 and you
from.
can
No,
spend that
I'd
on
say
a
there's
room.
£3,000, Heidi.
And I would say, no way.
Ruth is back at the Wyandotte to help them decide which way to take the business. But first, she wants to look at room 17. During her last visit, she suggested the couple change their plans to make the room appeal more to high-paying private customers.
Oh my word. Gosh, what a difference. And it's not the kind of room you want to be selling for 20 quid a night. Do you know how much you spent on the room?
About 6,000.
It's quite a lot of money. I would be looking more at a 3,000–4,000 if you possibly can. The point is that this room, in any hotel, you could be looking at £120, £130 a night bed and breakfast. And that has got to be, something like 4 times, 5 times what you'd get for a coach party.
Yeah.
Think about it. Whole 5 days of coach party compared to one night.
Yep.
Just
Yeah, I
one
mean,
night's laundry,
yeah.
one breakfast food. I mean, you know, it would break my heart to give this away
Yeah,
for 20,
no,
25
it
quid
is-
a
that
night.
is-
However, what really bothers me is there's no budget to begin with, and even if there was, the likelihood is you'd overspend it. And I think that's somewhere where we've really got to tighten up, because I am looking at something in here that looks extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Bath don't look cheap from where I'm standing.
Jacuzzi. With lights.
With lights?
Yeah, it's nice. The whole suite, the toilet, the sink and the bath was £800.
And this is presumably a water-resistant plasma screen of some description.
Yes.
It is. £600.
£600 for television. So we're looking at a bathroom which is about £2,000.
Yes.
That's a jolly expensive bathroom by any measure.
With the cost of the new room adding to the couple's overdraft, making a decision about the hotel's future is more vital than ever.
We have a claim on 2 and 8.
Since her last visit, Ruth's been doing her homework, putting together 2 business plans. Her first projection shows how much money the couple would make in the next year if they stop refurbishments and concentrate on low-paying coach parties.
Although you're likely to turn over nigh on £300,000, by the time we take out your mortgage repayments, the expenses, the food, the wages, all the costs, you're making a loss of about £1,000. It's before you spend any more money on curtains.
Not good, is it?
The second plan sets out how the business would do if they complete the refurbishment, lose the coach parties, and only deal with high-paying private guests.
The revised net profit, instead of a loss of nearly £1,000, is £60,000 profit.
It is a massive risk, though. You'd have to basically start again with your whole guest base.
But I think you should be sort of starting again. And I know it seems very scary, but
It does.
you're trading so madly at the moment because you're constantly improving the product, you're improving the rooms, you're spending a fortune on the rooms, but you're still saying, on the other hand, I'm going to get all the cheapskates in who are going to pay me nothing for this. I mean, if you want to do that, Heidi, stop doing anything to this hotel.
The couple need a fresh start, and a new name would help. For 3 years, they've hated the name Wyandotte, but typically, this quibbling couple couldn't settle on an alternative. To spur them into action, Ruth has demanded a shortlist of 10 enticing names.
So you came up with this list anyway, and I'm quite impressed actually. There's a real diversity in there, isn't there? Of the ones that you produced, what do you think about things more modern, like Breakwater, Shingles, The Pier, Water's Edge, Waterside, Pebble Beach?
Shingles just reminds me
Of an illness.
An illness.
Yes.
And there's plenty of old people having shingles.
Right, so we'll get rid of that one.
Getting rid of Breakwater because Breakwater, break wind. I can't,
Exactly, that's exactly what I thought too.
Answer the phone to that.
I very much like East Beach, and I actually quite like the fact it's East Beach, Eastbourne. I don't mind that. I like the coast, and I liked Seven Sisters. But what do you like?
Personally, I do like the East Beach.
So, which 2 do you like? Do you like East Beach? Heidi, whether you like it or not, this hotel's going to have a new name.
And if you feel railroaded, be my guest. You have been. But if it's a question of railroading you or sitting with the name Wanoki above your front door for the next 10 years, I'm going to railroad you.
Of course.
So, East Beach it is. And the new name means there's a chance to rebrand the hotel and get some publicity. To do this, Ruth plans to invite some key members of the national press to sample the East Beach and spend a night there. If they react positively to the refurbished rooms, it could give Mark and Heidi the confidence they need to relinquish the coach parties. The press day will take place in just a few weeks, so Mark and Heidi have a lot of work to do, but they're not seeing eye to eye.
Mark and I had a massive barney about getting the next room done. And, you know, Mark, I think, is a bit scared of Ruth. Every time he sees the woman, he gives her a line. Doesn't matter what it is, he just feeds her something and she runs with it 1,000 miles.
Bath don't look cheap from where I'm standing.
Jacuzzi. With lights.
With lights?
Yes, nice. I said he was a fucking bastard for giving her an inch and letting her run a mile.
Despite the friction, Heidi's already started work on her next and most ambitious project to date. Room 28 has the potential to be a jewel in the hotel's crown.
I'm so excited to be getting on with this room. It is beautiful, beautiful views. The bed is going to go here, so you'll be laying in bed looking at the sea, looking at the pier over there. It's just room to die for.
Yet again, the project will add to the couple's bank debts, but at least this time they're discussing the costs.
Heidi has a budget of 6,000, and if she can do it cheaper, then she's going to try. I'm not sure she will or not, but I do ask her about it now and again, and she says it's going ahead as planned. But with Heidi, that could mean anything. God, right.
It remains to be seen if Heidi will be able to keep to the £6,000 budget Mark believes they can afford. 2 weeks later, and the hard work on rebranding the hotel is almost complete. The once confused Wanoki has finally been transformed into the modern East Beach. There's a new sign over the door, complete with a stylish new logo. The Victorian building has had a fresh coat of paint and now looks crisp and clean. Inside, Heidi and her team of decorators have been working around the clock. What were once 2 dark rooms with outdated decor are now an elegant showstopper. With wonderful views and a sumptuous bathroom, Room 28 is finally fit for the upscale clientele that Mark and Heidi want to attract.
I think the development of the rooms and what we've done, how the front looks, the signage and everything, I think it's fantastic.
And it seems that for Heidi, completing the work has helped her draw a line under her spending.
I feel exhausted of spending money, so yes, well happy to stop and want to see the bank balance going up a bit and building a reserve for more improvements.
You know, this time next year, I think, you know, we'll be looking maybe 10 times better than we were. So it's been a good boost for us, really.
The day of the press launch has finally arrived. For the past 3 months, Mark and Heidi have been working with Ruth to improve their failing fortunes. They've been up since 5 a.m. getting ready for the imminent arrival of their special guests.
I'm feeling sick. And I'm feeling very sick because it's totally out of control. You know, what is going on in their heads, what they're thinking, what they write about, how their perception of it all. And having no control over it is horrible.
Ruth has invited travel writers from a variety of national publications, including Which magazine and the Independent newspaper. Good reviews could help the business, but the couple can't control what the journalists write.
The impressions that we create for them is obviously very important, because if they say we're crap, then obviously no one's going to come here. So then you're going back to coaches. So, you know, hopefully they really like the rooms they're going into, and hopefully they like us and what Eastbourne has got to offer.
Lindsay Hunt from Which magazine has brought husband John with her to test out the hotel.
I think this is a thoroughly soothing room. I'd call it a very serene room, very seasidey.
Well, if you look out the window, yes, it's almost, you know, a panorama sweep across from the colour of the sea onto the walls. That's clever. That's well thought out, I think.
Staying just down the corridor is Simon Calder, the travel editor of the Independent newspaper.
This is a hotel with a dual identity. Downstairs hasn't changed since the 1960s, and then suddenly you come into this room and it's great.
Mark and Heidi seem to be making a good impression so far, but there's a long way to go if they're to convince the hard-bitten journalists that the East Beach and Eastbourne is the place to be.
Can you tell me, please, the average age of your guests?
I would say the average age of our guests is 70.
70 years and 10.
Under pressure, Heidi's already starting to feel out of her depth.
I think having the journalists here for the weekend is definitely swimming with the sharks. I think it's awful. Put ourselves through absolute hell trying to get everything with the rooms ready, everything ready. They don't ever switch off, do they? And it is perception, their perception of your product. And I don't like it at all because there's no control.
And the pressure's only going to get worse for Heidi because now Ruth has returned to inspect the newly refurbished room 28. Mark set Heidi a budget of £6,000, but the work actually cost £8,000. Will Ruth think it was money well spent?
This is just stupendously better, isn't it?
So
it's you wouldn't even know it was the same hotel.
No, we're really, really proud of it. We're really proud of it. It's worked out just exactly as we wanted.
To do this actually kind of probably makes all the work you've done this year worthwhile, because I think this is just sensational. Oh. So what is the total investment in this bathroom with the tiles and the shower and the plasma screen and the jacuzzi?
Round about the 2,000, maybe a little bit less.
Can you assure me that after this last splurge of expenditure, you're going to put the mockers on it all until next year when you know how much you've made?
Yeah, I think I'm well aware of the fact, and I know Heidi is as well.
The following morning, the sun is shining on Eastbourne, and Ruth is eager to find out how the East Beach has fared.
Yeah, I think they have to go upmarket, but gently and gradually, and they have to just take it steady. Don't spend all this ludicrous amount on things that are not essential, really. Right.
Music to my ears.
Yeah.
What does Simon Calder think that the future holds for the East Beach?
They just need to decide, are we going to be Ryanair, doing everything the cheapest, basic way, you know, offering people a very low-cost, adequate service, or are we going to be Ritz-Carlton, moving people up market? You cannot possibly be both at the same time. It just doesn't work.
So, armed with these mixed reviews, Ruth sits Mark and Heidi down for one last chat. For the past 3 months, she's been encouraging them to commit to taking the hotel up and out of the rut created by endless coach parties. Has the press weekend given them the confidence to go ahead?
Now, the key question is, all of this plan is going to take a lot of courage, focused courage. Do you think you've got it?
Yes, I think it's given us a good kick up the backside, and it's given us a bit more belief in the product and what we can offer and what we can achieve.
I can see that if anything comes along that hits that cash flow and that you think, oh my God, and you look forward 6 months' time and see it's an empty diary, my fear is that you'll take that phone call from that coach company and you will fill it with those people. And I'm telling you, it will be such the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
Please don't lose your bottle. Please stay focused.
It's courage, isn't it? That's what it's all about. It is.
Having the nerve.
Yeah.
I think you've got it.
12 months ago, hotel owners Heidi and Mark Calderoy were struggling to keep their hotel in Eastbourne from becoming a money pit. They were relying on budget room rates from coach party bookings to fill the hotel, while their luxury room renovations sank them further and further into debt.
I am looking at something in here that looks extremely expensive.
The hotel was given a new name, the East Beach, but 1 year on, has it been given a new lease of life?
Last January we turned over £4,000 and this year it was pretty much 20,000. Business in the winter months is up well over 100%. The majority of their bookings now are through the internet. Their new website has had in excess of 11,000 hits, and the luxury rooms have become very popular. Anybody stays in a luxury room, they think it's great.
Our ambition for the East Beach hasn't changed since before Ruth's visit. The ultimate plan is to have every room finished and it to be one of the nicest hotels to stay at in Eastbourne. And this hotel is a complete expression of me. All the rooms that are done.
Is that me or us?
Me.
Just checking.
Heidi's over-ambitious spending on the luxury rooms caused the business real problems. 1 year on, has she learnt her lesson?
I do have to rein Heidi in, but I think she has calmed down. She's not throwing money away willy-nilly. Before, maybe she was saying, well, I'm just going to do it, and we'll sort the money out later.
You say, there you go, there's
Okay.
£8,000 and you
No,
can
no,
spend that
I'd say
on a
there's
room.
£3,000, Heidi.
And I would say, no way.
She hasn't been like that since Ruth left, really, and she realises that it cannot carry on the way it has been in the past. We've had some fantastic letters and emails saying we're mad and, you know, we should divorce each other straight away. And
Had like a hate letter from this lady
Yes.
who was totally barking and just said, my condolences to your husband. Since Ruth left and she said, stop spending money and stop the refurbishment and things, we kind of did until now.
But this time, Heidi is being far more budget conscious.
This is the latest room that we've done. It's 95% finished. This room will have a new headboard and it will have all the bedspreads and nice power mat to go with all the curtains and things, but it's pretty much there. I would have liked to have done more, but listening to what Ruth said did make me sort of sit back and think, well, actually, if you didn't do anything, would it really hurt? And the answer's been no. And the balance between getting all the work done and making a profit this year has been paramount to us.
Although turnover in the last year is up by £40,000, Ruth wanted the hotel to become less reliant on coach parties and appeal to a wider clientele who will pay more for a room.
Ruth should tell us that we should cancel the coaches, just cancel them. But you have this comfort of looking at your book, thinking, well, I'm full up next year, I've got X amount of £1,000 booked in, and that's going to cover all my expenditure for the year, so anything else is then profit.
the business has changed quite a lot for us. We've got a lot less coach bookings this year than last year. We don't take any at weekends now, and we get a lot of business people coming in now during the week, Mondays to Fridays, but weekends now is basically private guests.
The age is way down, and the guests that come at the weekends are the ones that spend the money on the bar, and they don't bat an eyelid at wine and drinks and things like that. When Ruth came to us and sort of said to try to tap into this younger market, we wasn't totally sure if it actually existed in Eastbourne, and we've been totally surprised how young the people are coming.
With the East Beach now doing better, Mark and Heidi are moving on to a new challenge. They borrowed more money and bought another hotel just a few doors further down the seafront.
We decided to purchase the other hotel in a calculated, impulsive moment. It's been on the market for a year. Price has come down, and it came down so low, we just thought, right, we've got to go for it.
It is a huge risk because we're spreading ourselves out quite considerably.
So this room's the size of our four-poster room, but it's just laid out very differently.
Right.
The value of the East Beach has gone up quite considerably, which we're really pleased with. It's given us the opportunity to release some equity to be able to buy this property.
There's always going to be that little bit of a gamble. What if the weather's rubbish for the summer and then suddenly we've got to pay costs on 2 hotels?
3 metres 22.
With the new hotel, Heidi isn't going to make the same mistake and overspend like she did at the East Beach. She and Mark have fixed a budget of £50,000 to do up the 9 bedrooms, and they plan to stick to it.
Every room is going to be decorated the same. That will keep costs down an awful lot, the fact that we're not getting all carried away with, you know, different themes and different things in every room. We just think that if we can turn this around into good breakfast, lovely rooms, lovely views, the setting's nice, the position's nice, location, everything's good, is a bit of a no-brainer.
We've already worked out the budget, how much we're going to spend on it, how much it takes, because it has got some accounts there as well, how much we're going to spend on the year and when we're going to do it. And
Ruth would be very proud of that, very proud.
It's totally not like us, but it's blooming scary, isn't it, that we've actually turned into these
Number crunchers.
Roof clones, yeah, wow.